Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Man United agenda. And yes, it's the preview for the FA Cup. So, guys, we're not going to talk about the game yesterday. We just want to talk about Brighton at Wembley. Let's go. Yes, everyone, welcome back to the Man United agenda. OMONDI, sir, how you doing? It's been a while. How you feeling?
Yeah, welcome back, Solo. Haven't seen you for ages. Hope you're doing well. It's your channel, and we've been sort of taking care of business while you're away. You know, it's hard to sort of walk in your shoes, to be honest. So I'm glad you're here, hosting, and hopefully roasting a few of us, because we've been arguing backstage, guys, and we weren't agreeing about what happened yesterday. I don't know if we could talk about yesterday, but I want to hear from Phil. I want to hear from Brush. Brush is here as well. So it'd be really interesting. And I think that is a trending topic right now. But obviously, yeah, semi-final, FA Cup. I can't wait. And this is a crucial week, and it hasn't started too well. So come on, big up.
Right. Thank you so much. Let's go, Phil. Phil, how you doing, sir? I know yesterday you did message me. You wanted to rant and everything, but let's go.
I couldn't get on the live show, but I managed to get enough comments in. I think it was. I realised I was sending too much, so at the end it was just like coming out faster than I was thinking it. At the end of the day, I felt a little bit better when I woke up this morning because I vented and got rid of my anger and frustration. And today's a new day. Looking forward to the game at the weekend. We've got to put it behind us because it's gone. There's nothing we can do about it now. It's gone. We can talk about it. I'm sure we will, and I'll still have plenty to say about it. But yeah, good to be back. I've missed being on the show, so thank you for having me on.
Brilliant, sir. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. Brush, sir. So call me.
It's a pleasure to be here. As the people can see, I'm joining you guys today from the Shadow Realm. It's quite fitting after yesterday's performance. So we move.
Yeah, I call it non-existent yesterday's game. Non-existent. Not one player was non-existent yesterday. But okay, we're not allowed to talk about it. But before we go, guys, this is a preview show. We are here to preview Brighton versus Manchester United. Also get involved in the comments as well, making sure you like and you share and you subscribing to the channel also. I just want to get a quick reflection from, obviously, let's go Brush, from yesterday's performance. Just a quick summarize how you summarize the game up. Some of these players now, is it time they leave the club? Obviously, summer transfers coming up now. Is it time now, do they leave? And also, what does Eric Ten Hag go from here? Because we still got quite a lot of game to play.
I mean, for me, it was a calamity of errors. About 4 of the 5 goals over the course of the 2 legs, I think, were preventable. So it was all a disaster of our own making, if I'm being honest. In terms of where we go from here, I mean, we need to pick ourselves back up. There's no respite. Brighton are going to be a very challenging outfit. So we need to pick ourselves up quickly. In terms of the summer, you know me, the ambition and everything else comes down to ownership, and the ownership issue has to be resolved first before we talk about the summer. But yeah, absolutely, the squad needs a refresh.
Brilliant. Phil, sir, yesterday, give us a little brief summarize as well from yesterday, what your thought process were. Again, Brush alluded to it. A lot of the goals. The only goal I'm going to sit there and I'm going to defend in the tie, though, Brush, is going to be the Harry Maguire header. There's nothing in the world he can do. So
you can't really do nothing about that.
You can't do nothing with it. But Phil?
Yeah, completely agree. I think but had Molassie not made that mistake, we probably wouldn't have been under the pressure we were at the end of the game, and then they never would have actually got that second goal. And I think we would have. I mean, we know even before that we should have put the tie to bed. We had opportunities to kill it off 3-4-0, and nobody would have come back. There was no way.
I think that's what hurts the most, though, isn't it, Phil? Because that first half performance in the first leg, it was an absolute joy to behold, and we really should have put them to bed.
Absolutely, and I think part of the issue was, I was saying possibly on the show yesterday or another one the other night, was about, in the first game, Sabitzer was a bit of a surprise element to everybody, to the United fans, And also to Sevilla, they weren't expecting what he brought to the game. He surprised every one of us, and they nullified that last night in the attack in a completely different way. He wasn't even in the game. I mean, you could have took I think the problem was you had some big carry. When you look at the lineup, you thought, yeah, it's 0-0 at the end of the day. That game started 0-0. It's just a cup final. Let's go in. And you look at the lineup and you think, yeah, we've got a chance here. But the way they attacked from the off, and I just thought that the atmosphere, the way the referee didn't book Acuna when he pushed Sabitzer flying at the end. That should have been at the beginning. That should have been a yellow card for me. That would have set the tone of the game a little bit differently. But instead, it was less like we can get away with what we want here. There was lots of Stoke-style play, if you like. Yeah, it was just awful. We were just shocked. We weren't there at all. Even our best players like Casemiro, Eriksen, they were missing. Eriksen looked like he was jogging around the pitch, like he's afraid to get a booking all the time. He's playing differently since he's had all these suspensions. Eriksen looked like he really was coming back from an injury. Even Luke Shaw, when he came on, he made a little bit of a difference in the first maybe 5 minutes when he came on, and after that he just settled back again. It was just over, you know. And what you said about the window. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, go on, carry on. Sorry.
Just say what you said about the transfer window, selling players, refreshing, things like that. I think we've got to be careful that before we get rid of players, we've got to bring more in, because even though we might not be made up with the squad we've got, we did exactly that with Ronaldo. Let him go and let forgot his name, longer striker.
Cavani.
That's it, Cavani, thank you. You knew the one I meant. We let them both go, you know, and we didn't get the replacements in. And so that's essentially a weakness in the end, because we've seen it with injuries, we've been hit by them, and we've not even got a squad to put out sometimes. And they are dead on the feet. There's no doubt about it. They are dead on the feet, but we also know we should have won.
Right, I'm going to touch back now about the first. Well, I know who was it? Gabriel Banahoy said when Casemiro put his hand round, who was it? What player was it? Throw it again. He should have been sort of like locked up for a prison sentence for it. That barge yesterday, you said a yellow card. You've been very nice, but on Monday, I think that set the tone of the game, because that was a physicality. As what Phil says, it's almost like the guys, the Man United players, were scared of. They're scared of that physicality and getting involved, involved. Listen to commentary yesterday. That's what they were saying. United need to mix it up with them, because they were getting to the first ball, the second ball, the third ball, the fourth ball. United looked scared on Monday.
Yeah, I just think sometimes when you lose, you really win. And the way I say winning, it might sound bizarre, but I do think you see the real character of players. You go away, our away form's been poor. We have to question, why is that? Are these players really affected by the fans being in a different stadium? Do they need that sort of comfort of playing at home all the time? Because there's obviously a difference here. I know home and away is different. We know playing in front of your home fans, they support you, they back you. You get a bit of confidence from that. But you need to, as character, you have to take that confidence to an away game, no matter what setting it is, and perform. And for some reason, we're not performing away from home. And like Phil was saying, the calamity of errors. And what Brush was saying as well about the errors, 4 to 5 goals could have been prevented. So, for starters, the manager said before the game, we've got to win our first and second balls. He said that before the game. So he knows clearly, he's identified it's a confidence thing. Something's going wrong when we're playing away from home. Go out there and earn the right to win and earn the right to play. I think the manager's taking notes now about who we can trust, who we can't. And we all seen it as fans. We have our own opinion about certain players and everything else. I think the system's okay. I think the personnel maybe not. And that's what comes with 2-3 transfer windows. Something we said before Ten Hag came along. Give him the 2-3 transfer windows because he needs to get his own players in, players he can trust. I don't think at the moment he can't trust certain players out there.
Regarding the away form, OMONDI, do you think there's a little bit of naivety on the side of management?
Do you want to follow that up? Because obviously I've heard this argument made at Liverpool. We're 3-0.
I just want to touch on it quickly, because obviously, like under Ollie, despite all the criticisms, one of the things that was a positive was our away form, and it's because we set up in such a way that we were difficult to break down. This current manager obviously has his own set of philosophies, and he is quite stubborn in that, and he doesn't deviate from it too much. I just wonder if that, is contributing to our shortfall as well, because sometimes you have to be pragmatic. I understand that he hasn't got the players to, really get into the groove of what he wants to do, but in the meantime, it's important to pick up points.
I don't know what Phil thinks about that, but yeah, I think that's a really good point.
Yeah,
and a question
Phil?
about why we have shows like this to discuss things like that. We're not calling out the manager, but Phil, what do you think about that? There's been plenty of times away this season when a manager's sort of not being conservative, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think at the end of the day, he's been given this sort of challenge of taking over Man United, and when you look at what's happened over the last 10 years, we've seen the problems. It's been a bit of a complete roller coaster. And he's tried to steady the ship. Various managers have tried to do that. He tried to bring in his own players and put his own sort of blueprint on it, if you like. But I just think he's had to just kind of fight for every point. And one of the things that a lot of the fans would like to see is that, we've seen managers in the past going, I remember Moisey saying, well, we might be able to get fourth, or I'll be happy with that. And it's like, no. Ten Hag's coming out with a different mentality, saying we've got to win everything, we've got to win every game, and that's the mentality that's been missing, I think. So whilst I completely understand what Brosh is saying in terms of the way that you actually set up on the pitch, we don't what the fans would straight away turn and be like, well, why are we all setting up defensively against X, Y, and Z? At the end of the day, we're Man United. Look at our team; we can win this. So yeah, maybe it is a little bit naive, but at the end of the day, as we've already said, talking about the game from last night, from the first leg, etc. We lost that in the first leg, and that was at home. And again, people say that's possibly with some of the managerial changes that he made with the substitutions, taking Bruno off, etc. It did weaken the team when we made those changes, because again, we're afraid of these yellow cards coming back to bite us, because I'm not saying we're the only team, but we have struggled a lot this season with some decisions against those sending off in suspensions. And I think it's had a big impact on us, as well as our injury record, and we are very lethargic, and we're a little bit threadbare as well. I think all those three things together, they're having a big impact on where we are right now. And Brighton, as much as he's got to lift the team for that game, physically, they are still only human.
Yeah. But again, I'm going to... last point before we start moving on, to get on Monday to look at some of these comments as well. But I think it's a great point you raised there, Brush, because for me, again, with sort of the way Ten Hag set up, and he wants to win every game, as we all alluded to. We know he wants to win every competition he goes in. He wants to win, and I think that's part of the reason why it's about confidence. The more you win, the more confident you get for the new season. You get the trophies you want. You're hungry. You want to go for more and more and more. But at the moment, I don't want to sit there. We got back the team. We don't want to get too emotional with the team and say, oh, well, every single player is rubbish or whatever. It's a belief. And yes, Sevilla knocked us out. It's a new day. We're going to a new competition, which is now going to be the FA Cup. Can we go there? Can we get a result against Brighton? How confident is this team? Will Ten Hag make changes? I believe he's going to make lots of changes. Absolutely guaranteed to make loads of changes in this game, because from a fan point of view and from what we see, and I'm sure he can see exactly some of these players that played didn't sort of warrant a start in the FA Cup.
Do you think he'd change De Gea?
He's probably the only one I wouldn't change. Well, there's a couple of players. So when you see my solo team, you'll see the reason why I've picked the team, and I will explain the reason why I've picked this team today. Because normally I'll put a solo team up and I'll say, oh, what do you guys think of it? I'll try and break it down as best as I can because of the performance over, yesterday, what I saw yesterday. If players are fit enough, I think those players will start in the FA Cup, because I think they'll bring something different to the team. Armando, would you mind going through some of these comments, please? Guys, 12 in the chat, remember, give us a like, share, and subscribe.
So don't forget to subscribe to Football United TV. As Matty, he said, we need to want this more than they do. Passion has to come into play. We lack that versus Sevilla. I want to say hi to MES Realist. Go and check out his channel as well. He's walking the dog at the moment as he's saying we're going to win 2-1 at the weekend. Jeff, how you doing? Big up, boys. Hope you're having a good evening. That's our favourite referee from the States. That is HS. How you doing? That's not HS Tiki-Toki, is it? He says, no more players transfers from Bundesliga, please. Rory, how you doing? Duty of care. He effed Sabitzer out of play. Talking about that challenge, I imagine. Sue82, how long has it been, Sue? I haven't seen you for ages. Sue. Hey, guys, awful performance. Hope we get better Saturday. She's also saying here, mentally, a lot of this lot don't have it when the pressure gets going. Too many times we've seen it this season. Rory saying, at least Anthony has come to fight. unlike that shrinking violet, which is Sancho. Michael Hill, how you doing? He says, sounds mad, but we missed McTominay last night. His sort of game, and Eriksen was lightweight, as was Sabitzer. Could have played Fred as well, to be honest, to match up. We have big problems, says Box. Brian, how you doing? He said, even lads, it's interesting to see if Ten Hag sticks to his tactic of playing exact same 11 after a loss. That's interesting. Jeff saying, got it right, Rory. Sancho needs to go back to Germany or France, where he can play his style. Ooh. I don't like these Sancho comments. Box is saying, we look awful, out of ideas, no passion, no drive, no ability, no tactical nous or adaptations from the 4-0 away at Brentford. Defeat to Seville 3-0 away, everything in between. You know, Bilal, how you doing, man? Says, might be a bit harsh, but I think De Gea should get dropped. Jeff again saying, Box, we need to play the kids the way Sir Alex Ferguson did when he was peeved off to his senior boys. Couple more here. Box is saying Ten Hag gets past this season, but next season there's no excuses. And final one from us here. Jeff saying here he has to learn to adapt and play defense sometimes and counter attack when this group with the group that he has to work with. Ola Kunle's in the house. How you doing, Ola Kunle? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well.
Man United lost, innit?
Well, that's what happens here. And sorry, consider Michael Hill saying if Maguire spent more time scanning and being aware of what's going on around him instead of effing about with his side party, that might help. Oh, good. All right, we're done. Let's talk about Brighton.
So we're going to go into Brighton now, and I'm going to kickstart it off with Brush. With us against Brighton, I think is it last 3 seasons, we ain't had that much luck against Brighton. They've literally, the last time we played them, they obviously beat us as well. But Brush, going into this game, you had Potter who left, and it's almost like you got a new manager come in, and he almost settled in, but almost pushed the team to another level. Now, Brighton against Tottenham, they were very unlucky against Tottenham, and they play football, they're in your face, so they're pressing. So if we play like that against Sevilla, how damaging could this performance be against Manchester United?
Lord help us, Solo. That's all I'm going to say. If we turn up like we did yesterday, we're in big, big trouble. Zarabi's done a fantastic job. I think he's exceeded anyone's expectations. I certainly expected them to take a dip considering Potter left with his entire backroom staff. And yeah, like you say, they've gone up a level. The game against Tottenham in particular, I thought they were robbed, if I'm being honest. And yeah, they've been playing some fantastic football. Lots of threats all across the field. Mitoma in particular. McAllister, on the back of the World Cup as well, is having a fantastic season. Young Ferguson over there, who we may or may not have our eyes on. Yeah, lots of threats. We need to pick ourselves up very quickly. And like one of the comments said, Ten Hag has shown a tendency to stick with the same players after a defeat. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be too many changes, if I'm being honest. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they respond.
Yeah, and thanks for that, Rush. A great point there as well. But also with that as well, Phil, you think we're talking about Brighton, and Brighton for me have got rid of probably 2 of their best players and still performing at the level they're performing right now. For me, it's going to be, and plus it's sort of like it's a neutral venue. That's going to be even tougher for Manchester United going to this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, if you needed a kick before a game, then last night was it. It's simple as that. If you don't bounce back from that, then your season is over, because that is the kick that we needed. The abuse that's been taken. I'm not sure. I know Ten Hag has kind of said, right, the failed, go out and prove yourself better. I don't think we can keep doing that. I do wonder if for the first... The only thing is, everyone's saying, like, let's change the hair and stuff like that, but no one's actually seen Butland play. I don't know when he last played a professional game, if I'm honest. I don't know when it was. I guess it was a while ago. And everyone's saying, yeah, just bring him. What's the difference? But he's probably afraid to take that risk. It's a cup game. And at the end of the day, we know that De Gea is an amazing shot stopper. It's his distribution. My concern with De Gea at the moment is he looks nervous when he steps on the pitch. He doesn't look confident. He's almost still got the last game ringing in his ears. And I think Maguire would have the same problem. And I think if different players are fit and available, I don't think he'll be starting Maguire. He's not been afraid to leave him out in the past. He's obviously started Shaw ahead of him as well in centre-back before now. and he wasn't afraid to put that out there when Maguire was fully fit. So I think the line will have us. But coming against Brighton, as Brush has said, they've got some great players. They're playing some great football, but they are still 10 points behind us in the league with a game in hand. I know that. So overall, yes, they play well. They have some great games, but they always seem to concede goals as well. So I think if Rashford's fit, if we start with him. Start with, obviously, Martial's out, so it's likely that we will start with Rashford. I know we'll get to the team in a little bit, but I think that we'll see a different side coming out. And I think, people are having to go about Sancho and stuff like that, but I think you said earlier at the top of the show, Solo, about the fact that if we couldn't get the ball out, or myself and Mondi, if we can't get the ball out from the back, how are they supposed to do anything with it in the midfield or up front? We couldn't even clear it to get it to them. So, it's not a case if you don't shoot, you don't score. We couldn't actually get it to anybody to a position where we had a chance of taking a shot. But yeah, I mean, Anthony was probably our only player who did anything worthwhile yesterday. But even then, nothing. So going forward, I think this weekend, I think we've got to believe in it. We've got to have a chance. Got to believe in ourselves. Got to believe in the players and know what they can do at their best. If the best of Man United turn up, whichever those starting 11 are, then we can win it.
Yeah, Monday, Brush and also Phil touched on it as well about playing probably the same. He hasn't really dropped the players. He always seems like he continue with the same team. But Man United also with it, we've never lost back-to-back game. So again, and with it as well, the stat says that he always goes and pick the same team straight after, unless there's injuries.
Yeah, we'll soon find out. I'm interested to hear your analysis of why you picked the team you've chosen. Obviously, we know Maguire's suspended, so we're sort of limited. When you look at our options for picking a team this weekend, it's going to be tough. And I think if we picked our strongest team, it would probably include most of the players that played Thursday night, to be fair. Because besides that, you only got the Langers, the young players on the bench, not much more beyond that, So we're really sort of tight for our squad right now. These players, they really have something to prove. I really hope it means something to them, losing like that. I really hope they cried, because sometimes when you lose like that in the atmosphere and you feel embarrassed, I hope you cry. If you're not crying physically outside, you're crying on the inside, or you're hurting on the inside. And then you got to say to yourself, how do we beat Brighton? You've got to prepare yourself, flying back, training session, going down to Wembley, going through all that. When Sunday afternoon, everyone will be watching. You need to represent and show yourself. And like you said, we haven't lost 2 games on the bounce. That's something about character, I believe. And I think we need to bounce back from this big time. I remember when we lost to Brentford 4-0, and we lost to Brighton as well 2-1 around that start of the season. We had an 8-game break before we played Liverpool. And we were like, oh my God, whatever next? And we actually got ourselves together, sat down, worked it out, and we managed to perform and to show that we're a good side. And we are a good side. It just means we need a bit more consistency, a bit more courage, and just the thing, physical talent. We got that, So you look at the example of Sancho. He's got all the talent in the world, but there's something missing. So it shows there's different factors of the game, whether it's players, whether it's team, harmony, everything that is crucial. That's why management is so important. I hope the manager gives it his best shot, gets into these guys, knows how to push their buttons. We've got Bruno coming back as well, and we need to deliver. I know, look, I'm not usually one who bets against Man United, but at the moment, I'm actually considering, if we're doing a prediction, thinking, sugar, we might not win this. But the more I think, I'm saying, no, I can't go there. Bruno's back. We've done this before. It's Brighton. It's the FA Cup. It's Wembley. We can do this, bruv. We can do this. And this is what I'm saying. We have to believe in the players again. We have to support them. And don't let this negative energy go out there and ruin people. People have to stand up as well. Just for example, me, I support Maguire. I think he's a decent player. What happened the other day? He played on the world stage, he played the World Cup, he played in Euro finals at Wembley. You go to Seville, and I think you were a bit intimidated. I think some of the players weren't at the races, or I think it's suffocating in that atmosphere where they look like they couldn't even run. They didn't have the energy to run. It's zapping. So whatever. So you've got to play in all conditions. And if you want to be great, you need to be able to go places like that and stand up and represent. And as Phil said, it seemed to me like only Anthony put in a real visible. You can see how animated he was. You can see you're on it. Maybe the other guys were on it, but it didn't show on the outside. So yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I can't wait to hear from your solo 11.
Yeah, I'm going to just ask Brush this quick question, and then we move on to the next part. Brush, obviously, you got Martinez out, Varane's out, Bruno was out as well for yesterday. Rashford came on a bit later. How do you think these guys must be very upset of like looking at that performance of like the team yesterday? Also, again, I'm going to be with Phil here. A lot of people on Monday, a lot of people are criticizing Jadon Sancho. I don't think Jadon Sancho did a lot wrong yesterday.
Yeah, it's one of those where, after a terrible performance like that, people, try to pinpoint the bad performers and whatnot and want to look for people to blame. For me, we lose and win as a collective. So it's one of those ones. Obviously, there are individual errors and there's things that can be worked on. But yeah, it's a collective. Yeah, sorry, what was the question?
I was saying about Martinez. Obviously,
Yeah.
Varane's been out. It's about
having a settled back four this season has done us wonders, and obviously having them out, any team would struggle without those guys that you just mentioned. But let's not forget, despite the criticisms coming their way, like Maguire and Lindelof, they're not young, naive players. They're 28 and 29.
Yeah,
like these are experienced players, and also it wasn't too long ago where they were, under Ollie, they did go on a good run. They went on a very good run where they made a solid partnership, and that's what we have to hope for now. Got to put these mistakes behind us, and all we can do is support them and hope for the best, really. As for Rashford, I'm a little bit concerned that we might be rushing him back from injury sooner than he needs to be back. So that's a slight concern with Rashford.
Can I just speak one moment just on yesterday? Something that I picked up on is the cohesion amongst the team. So what I've seen over recent weeks, if a defender makes a great tackle or something, they're all high-fiving the defenders, the goalkeeper, everything. Yesterday, they couldn't even look at each other. Lindelof didn't look at De Gea. He was fuming. Maguire, there was no... And that was from the beginning of the game. So from the way it started, the whole team were battling with each other, not just with the team and not with the crowd. So they all need to be on the same page. They all need to start. And if Maguire stands up there as captain, he's got to act like a captain and sort the rest of the team out and say, look, we are a team. And that should have been absolutely thrown about all over the pitch. So the lines were all over the place. There was no positional play. Everything was wrong. That was even in the defence. The goals, when you look at it, there was a player over here, one up there, one down there. There was no line. There was nothing whatsoever. So yeah, going forward into the game at the weekend, whoever starts, they've got to be playing as a team. And I think if we play as a team, then we'll win.
Again, I'm going to feel you just picked up on something huge there, because if you guys, like in the chat as well, Brush on Monday as well, if you notice, we were missing in 3 plays yesterday, and one of them was on the bench. One of the leaders, I believe, who's the leader at Manchester United, was on the bench as well yesterday. And when we play and all these high fives are going around, where does these high five come from? It comes from Martinez, Varane, and Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, that's where it comes from. And again, a lot of people may not agree with me, but I look at Luke Shaw as probably, for me, Luke Shaw is my captain for Manchester United. I've been calling it a long time now. He should be the captain of Man United. A lot of people may say, well, I'm smoking or something like that. But for me, the way he carries himself, the way he behaves on the pitch, fair enough. He's got a coach now that's actually coaching him. He's looking, like the prime, Shordinho Monday. He's looking good. He's having all these little injuries, but he's coming back stronger and stronger again. And I think, like what you just said there, Phil, it's all about the high five. When Arsenal was doing it last season, we all taking the mickey out of them, thinking, oh my God, why are you doing that for? You think you won the league or something like that? All of a sudden, it instilled confidence. If something went wrong yesterday, one of those players, rather than staring at each other and sort of be negative, it's almost like, come on. The only player I saw yesterday on that pitch that did that was Dalot, who's the only one who was sitting there saying, calm down, you know what I mean? Try and take it a bit more calmer. Everyone else was just, all over the place. On Monday, I know you're looking at me, so you want to get back to that one and see, respond to that one, and we go through some comments, please.
Yeah, sure. So Boxer's saying here, I just can't fathom how since August until April, we haven't made any real tactical adjustments away from home. It's rinse and repeat. Very worrying for him, to be honest. Football United TV saying sniffing out the date yogurt again, Solo. Haha, Luke Shaw, he's done backup only. I'll just go back to this one about Luke Shaw, because you said about Luke Shaw being captain, didn't you? And
yes.
So Box here is talking about looking like a bunch of strangers, no sanitary in attack. Where's that comment there about Luke Shaw? Oh, here we go. Garnacho, when Garnacho's fit, Sancho would be third choice. This is from Michael Hill on the left-hand side. Eric made a point taking off that P4 first half, talking about Sancho. You didn't think Sancho did a lot wrong? Jesus. That's going to you, Solo. You said he didn't do much wrong earlier on.
I don't think he did.
Jeff saying here, not a lot of options if Shaw is still hurt. So remember, we've got a centre-back issues. Maguire's definitely suspended. It looks like Shaw's the only one who can play in centre-back with Lindelof, maybe, if Iran's not ready yet. And obviously, it's all about the high five from Power Owl, Football Power Owl. Go and check out his channel and subscribe as well. Just to respond, I just think, you guys, we're all on the same page here. I think teamwork is everything. You need to have that harmony and you need to get it right. Did you see that image the other day with the footage where Dalot and Anthony, after the Forest game, I think they scored a goal. Maguire comes over to applaud them, and Anthony's face just dropped. He was like, pat on the back, or just a little half a high five. And things like that is evident to me that there's an issue. There's an issue there at the club. And until that's resolved, like you said, Solo, you made a great point about Arsenal. When you see teams doing a huddle, getting together, it shows some harmony. Sometimes when we go and play on a Sunday, I turn up early, and the team that we're playing are already there, warming up, got their shit together, looking like professionals, and half of our team is staring at them, thinking, my God, that guy looks good, that they look good. And it's just intimidating. You have to have this. It's not a solo sport. You have to have teamwork. You have to get 11 guys on the same page, playing a nice tune, and be orchestrating that as the manager. And that's why it's such a difficult job. And at the moment, as good a team we got, and we might perform from time to time, there's a weakness away from home when we travel, and we're really struggling with that. So there is issues. Once they're resolved, I think we'll be okay. But like you said, neutral ground, big, vast pitch this weekend, just like Old Trafford. I think it's going to be an opportunity to make amends for a lot of these guys.
Right, I'm going to ask the chat as well, because I've said something, but I don't know who will agree with me and who don't. So I'm not going to ask you a 1 or a 2. It's just a simple yes or no. Luke Shaw's captain, Brush. Guys in the comments, yes or no?
No.
Phil?
No, not for me.
Not for me. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Sorry. The reason why I've never seen him captain needs to be vocal, organised in defence. I've seen him being organised, being led many times. Not just.
I can understand if you said Martinez, Solo.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, Martinez could be, but would he get the captain armband that early? If you know what I mean, would they give it to him?
I mean, look how early they gave it to Maguire.
One thing I do like about Luke Shaw, and you said give a yes or no, so that's all I was giving. But I think that the reason I said no is because he's still got too many mistakes in him, and you've got to kind of lead by example. And he still gets caught up the pitch sometimes and get caught out of position. And it's not just about positional play as well, but obviously you've got to kind of lead by example. And he does sometimes goes missing. Sometimes he has great games. Sometimes he goes missing a little bit. And I think we just need a little bit of someone who's. I like the fact that it's like Bruno in the middle of the field where he can shout at the defence, he can shout at those up front, he can shout at those in the middle, and he's running anywhere like a headless chicken. So I think he's perfect for it. But what I do like about Luke Shaw is the way he's not afraid to speak up to the media and say exactly what's going on in the change room in the right way, not in a negative way. When he said about Ten Hag, he said, what we're seeing this season, he was asked very early on in the season, he said, what we're seeing differently is people aren't getting away with the things they were getting away with last year or previously. And he was absolutely spot on, and everybody knew what he was on about. But so he does stand up and say the right things. But I remember Scott McTominay doing it a few years ago, everyone saying, oh, he must be the captain. But just because he's saying the right things doesn't make him captain.
Again, I'm going to quickly pull it out there again. I'm going to come back to probably Brush with this one. Brush, again, the captain of Manchester United, when he does play for Man United, so if Bruno's suspended, or why, again, I'm just asking why, playing devil advocate, why do you think he doesn't do interview with the media anymore? Because he doesn't.
Listen, everything that he says is just, you know, it's taken out of context, or, you know, it's all sound bites now, isn't it? There's no winning for him. There's absolutely no winning. Any comment he says, like, you know, he's hardly likely to come out and say, you know what, I've been pants. This isn't going well. I'm not happy to be here. They don't like me. That's never going to happen. So I don't know what people want from him. I really don't. All he can do is try, innit? Like, it's not his fault that the captaincy's come to him, but it's one of those things. Are you going to turn it down if it comes to you?
And do you think, again, with that, I'm going to probably give Phil this one a bit, because OMONDI, you always on here, we always talk about it. And do you think this could probably, because right now he's almost like in a shell, and what people don't realize, social media, technically speaking, yes, they get paid quite a lot of money, but he doesn't really have a life. And also, you've got to think about the mental health as well with the player. We got to also have that in consideration as well, because just because you're captain of Man United, just because you make a few mistakes, we all human at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate of this, because what it was that got my attention a few years ago. I don't read many books, but I did read Carrick's biography, and everyone loves Carrick, says he's amazing, he's doing fantastic at Middlesbrough and stuff. But when you read his book, he went through some real dark times, and it wasn't even that recognisable with Carrick. You know, we've seen it with Lingard, we've seen it with Sancho. People, at the end of the day, are human. And if everybody came into my work, and judged me, 10,000 people, 100,000 people critiqued the way I'd performed and made a mistake and highlighted it, I would only become worse off the back of it. And I think it's hard, because at the end of the day, it is the job. They know it's part and parcel of it to be in the media, to sit, and you can only hide from so much abuse. But at the end of the day, especially in this modern society, mental issues is a massive thing. And that's what I was saying before about De Gea. He walks on the pitch at the moment. He doesn't look confident. He doesn't like, he's fearing that he's putting the fear into the opposition. He looks afraid that he's going to make a mistake. He's not looking the confident De Gea that we've seen, who's won Player of the Season many times before, and won him the fans that he's still got today. And with Maguire, I think he's never been the same since that injury, that off the pitch incident in Greece that happened to his family. He's just never been the same. He is when he's with England, because he just seems to be able to escape it all. Probably because he's not got everyone on his back all the time, and he does perform well.
And he's not wearing a captain armband as well.
It's a massive difference. And I think that is, I've said this before, I think one of the few mistakes that Ten Hag has made was not taking the armband off him as he came in as a new manager. Because we know a new manager has the chance to come in and make that change straight away and say, look, you've been under pressure. He was under pressure before Ten Hag came in. He had a chance to come in and take that pressure away. And I think that's one of the few mistakes that he's made.
Can I jump in there? Talk about taking pressure away. David, the real pundit. David, look at me. Look at me, David. David, we're playing COP TV on the 9th of May down at Rayners Lane. I want you to message me, and I need you to come and play for us, bro. So David, the real pundit, saying here, why should Shaw be captain? He's been at the club 9 years, hasn't had a full good season. David, I love your comment, but I love you more to contact me. We need you for our 11-a-side team to come for one game only against COP TV, and we must win that. So I'm reaching out to you, bro. I was supposed to do it a week ago. But please, bro, I need you. I need you, David. I'm calling in my favor. You owe me. So come and play for us one game only, please. And I'll buy you a drink after the game.
Brilliant. Absolutely amazing. Guys, can you all look now? And we're going to be talking about this solo 11. We're going to do slightly different because Mr. B is not here to share the screen. So I'm going to do slightly different tonight. Let's get this up. Solo 11, if it's here. Where did I put it? I've got it somewhere. Mr. B did send it to me. Brighton 11. I think we're going to be cut off, guys. So Brighton 11. I won't be able to share it, I don't think. Hold on, let me just check something. Let me see this. No, I definitely ain't going to be able to share it. So, right. So this is how I've gone with it. Guys, have a look. I've gone with David De Gea. I've gone with Shaw and Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka at the back. The reason why, obviously, we know Maguire is going to be suspended. So we know that already. We've gone from Fred and Casemiro. The reason I brought Fred in is about the energy, bringing a bit of energy back. Casemiro has been out for a little while with suspensions and everything. And that was the second game he played since being suspended. And Fred, again, will bring that energy to that midfield. Bruno, obviously, you got to bring Bruno back. I think a lot of people have been criticizing Bruno over the season. I think Bruno's been nothing but fantastic for the whole of this season for us, wearing that captain armband. And as what we said, everyone disagreed with me with the Luke Shaw thing and said Bruno Fernandes has been basically the leader of the club this season. Rashford, been injured, came on for a little bit yesterday. I think he will start this game. And I think we've missed all of Rashford's goal. And I can't see where any other goals coming from apart from Rashford. Anthony, love him, frustrates me all the time though. Yesterday he had a decent game, but I just think for myself, I just want him to get the ball in quicker. It reminds me of a young Cristiano Ronaldo when Ronaldo first came to Manchester United, where he's holding the ball up too much and the move is broken down already, and then he get the ball in, then it's lost. But he did a couple of bits and pieces yesterday and also in the last game. That's why Anthony's there. Waghorse picks himself because Anthony Martial is he's croak. He's out now. I think that's it done for him now at Manchester United as a player. I don't think we're going to see him again until he's signed for another club next season. Guys, let's go to Brush. Should I keep the team up or is Brush there?
Yeah, I'm here. I said to you, bro. I wasn't sure if you had decided to put the screen up or not.
You want the screen up?
No, it's all good.
You remember it, yeah?
Yeah, like I say, man, it's going to be interesting to see what Eric decides. I don't think he's going to make many changes. So I think we haven't seen enough of Fred. I've questioned in the last couple of games why not. But yeah, no, I think Eriksen probably starts alongside Cass. The Rashford thing, obviously, yeah, fitness. That's probably the only other change, really. It could be Rashford up top and Sancho on the left, or it could be Weghorst. I don't know. Everything else looks all right to me. It'll also be interesting to see if Dalot goes left back instead of Malacia. But yeah, everything else is pretty set. I don't see too many changes.
Phil?
Yeah, so for me, obviously, Malacia, he was, well, there was a talk of an injury, but there was no actual clarification as to what it was. And I think it was more of a mental injury after what happened against Sevilla. He'll still blame himself for the loss of the whole game, even though he didn't play in the next game. And we were saying about Ten Hag not changing his lineup. He has his own little way of doing it if he wants to. But there is a few rumours at the moment that Shaw's possibly carrying an injury from yesterday. Probably again, like you said earlier, Rashford rushed back, and maybe Shaw's been rushed back because we just felt we had no choice. But if all these players are fit that you've picked, I can see why you've gone with Weghorst, because we know he doesn't score goals, but we also know what he brings to the team. He does that high press, which we don't have without him. Nobody makes those same chases and runs and harries them down and gets us the throws high up the pitch, free kicks, whatever, and allows Rashford, Anthony, Bruno to make those runs and crossing all over the pitch to each other. So yeah, I think it'd be good to see Weghorst back. And I can't remember the statistics when Weghorst was playing, but I do remember they were quite high, our win ratio. And I do think he makes a difference. Bruno is going to be absolutely the difference. Casemiro, if he's playing, needs to play like there's no such thing as a yellow card, because he's looking a bit afraid of that at the moment. And Fred, yeah, I agree, we've missed him. I think the only question is whether we'll see Wan-Bissaka or Dalot, because obviously Wan-Bissaka was replaced yesterday. So is that an injury, or is it because Ten Hag just was trying something different? I don't know. But yeah, I think it's a strong enough lineup. On paper, it can win. I don't think Maguire should start. And my only other question is, has De Gea made one too many mistakes? I know it's a cup game, but we've had other managers who've played goalkeepers just for cup games. Is it time to give Butland a chance? But he's seen him in training, we've not.
On Monday? I don't know what you think of this, Amanda. This is the first time I actually named a team and actually probably gone for a little bit reason why.
Yeah, but it's great. It's good, good way to sort of break it down and give a little summary why. I like that. I don't think Fred. I think I agree with Brush, Ericsson, Casemiro, Bruno. That's the midfield three. Bruno's dropping a lot deeper lately. Give us a bit more protection there. I found the other day we were just chasing shadows, especially getting back. These guys were too slow. I think with Bruno in there, with Ericsson and Casemiro, that's talent, that's ball retention. I think we've got technical guys there as well. And when you get ballers together, I think regardless of coaching, they work well together. They know naturally, telepathically, where to be, what to do, and they respect each other. And I could see there's no hesitation in passing them the ball, which I felt the other day. There's hesitation. I don't really want to pass him, or maybe he's not good enough if I pop it into his feet. There's always hesitation like that. Bit like hesitation when Wan-Bissaka was in front of goal and should have buried it.
Oh, you should have buried that, man.
I still can't get over that today.
It was fitting, isn't it? That our best chance fell to him.
You're a professional player. You train day in, day out. You do shooting practice. You're not just doing defensive. And you should bury things in the bottom corner. I mean, come on, man.
Even to punt it, man. That would have gone somewhere.
Exactly. Anyway, I'm not going to get down on him. But, yeah, I like the squad, but I just got a few issues. Weghorst, I did endorse him. I'm sort of going off him now. I know you can't be saying, he does work. He does whatever. You're supposed to work. For me, I think it's time for Pellistri, Sancho, these guys in the 4 with Bruno, Anthony, Rashford have to be considered now, because we're at the stage of the season where I think the manager realizes it's not working with Weghorst. He does what he does. We know what he does, but I want more than that. I think Pellistri and Sancho should be options ahead of Weghorst. And regarding the subs bench, I'm really concerned about who's going to cover centre-back. We really rely on Lindelof.
We didn't have anyone. We didn't have anyone.
Sorry?
We didn't have anyone on the substitution bench. Apart from
there you go. Even McTominay. So I would keep Weghorst on the bench, and he would be a substitute as centre back.
No, I'd bring on to Scott. Scott can play there. I'd keep Scott on the bench if he's fit. I'm not.
But in a 2 though, Solo.
Pardon?
But in a 2 though. I know Scott's played in a 3 in a centre back 3 for Scotland. In a 2,
yeah,
I don't know.
Scotland.
I don't know how you do in a 2. I think the only other option we'd have is probably to drop Cass there.
Into centre back.
Yeah, but again, we're talking about this yellow card thing. If he goes centre back, I don't know, guys, man. We're playing with 10 men. If he goes centre back,
guys, just consider. I think their left back. Obviously, they sold Cucurella to Chelsea, who murdered us. They murdered us last season. Cucurella did. They got a new left back who seems to get up and down. He's always playing.
Stupian.
Do you like him, Brush? I think
he's decent, isn't he? Yeah. He looks all right. Do you know what? Their recruitment is first class, man.
No, you don't get it. He raids, and I think we need to exploit that space because they really do play good football. They get high at the pitch. They double up with him and Matoma, what his name is.
It really worries me, that left-hand side of Mondi. I think that's why I'd prefer if Wambi was starting. Just a bit more assured in defence.
Yeah, but then we need... so I think with that and having Casemiro, Ericsson and Bruno, we can just shuffle over, be intelligent enough, shuffle over, and also bring the ball out. Casemiro, Ericsson, Bruno, these guys in midfield, I think they can retain the ball better than what we had the other day. And like you said, it's just confidence. These are great players, all 30 plus. They know how to play a game of football. And I think these guys have to play in that midfield. Then you've got Anthony, who's doing a lot of good work, tracking back on that side, Brush, like you said, with their left back and Matoma, whatever. Go and have a one-on-one with Matoma. Show you're better than him, bro, and work back as much as you can. And then I think Sancho, rather than Rashford working back, because we're going to have to work back a lot against Brighton a lot of the time. I want Rashford in the space behind because Wembley's vast and he will be enjoying playing under the shoulder or just playing, ping me over the top. That we need that option rather than the Weghorst who won't be able to exploit the space behind. I think at Wembley, especially, Rashford needs to be the last man.
Big pitch as well. Guys, let's get your score prediction now. Amanda is going to go through some comments quickly and we're going to go run through score prediction because Arsenal play in 5 minutes.
Right, first of all, Box has got a team here. He started with Buckland. There you go. And Pellistri. Look, I agree with the Pellistri thing. I think that's good. He's gone with my midfield as well, Casemiro, Ericsson, and Fernandes, and Rashford, Anthony, and Pellistri. That's different. It's nice though. It's nice to have a bit of difference there. Big up to David Real Pundit. He's agreed to come and play for us. I'll text you later, David. I hope you're on the same number. If not, yeah, find a way. We'll talk very soon. We've got the team here from Bilo. He said Butler and Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Casemiro at centre back, and Dalot. Then in midfield, he's gone Sabitzer and Fred, and then you can see the rest. So obviously, the key thing there is Casemiro starting at centre back. Ten Hag is probably going to play Weghorst, says HD Gamer. Says the great review. Michael saying it's a funny old game. Welbeck could do a job for us now. He's better than Weghorst. Funny, isn't it? And the predictions, they're coming in already. 5-0, which from Man United from UK Exchange. We're laughing, but, 1-0 own goal by Welbeck, says Box. And unfortunately, Exchange saying FA Cup final, Manchester derby. That's what, not unfortunately. Fortunately, I'd like to see that, and maybe we stop doing the treble. That's what it's all about. But anyway, yeah, let's bring the score predictions. I'll go first. I'm going to say it's a tough game, and away, like I'm going to say it's 2-0, just like the Newcastle game. Somehow, the Wembley Magic will turn us on. I remember I was watching the replay of the 1983 game. I watched that as a kid, and Ray Wilkins scored a wonder goal, and Brian Robson, what a player, got a brace in the replay. They had replays back then. It was a 2-2? Yeah, 2-2 in the first game, and then we beat them 4-0 in the second game. Showed our class. But Brian Robson, man, what a player! What a player! Scored a screamer from outside the box, a header late on as well. Ray Wilson cutting from his right foot, curled it for one of the goals as well. That's when Brighton were last big time. They're big time again, but like Newcastle, we got to stop them when it really matters in the big games at Wembley. Hopefully, we do them 2-0.
Brush.
Yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment, man. I'm going to go 2-1, mostly just on our hope, and I can't go against my team. So against all the odds and what the evidence is saying, I'm going for a win for us. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, let's see it all Manchester final.
Yeah, and then Anthony Herbert, I just hope 1-0, 89th minute, Ward-Prowse free kick, 1-1. Phil.
Yeah, I think we've got to come back. We've got to bounce back. This is our last chance to do something. We're not going to win the league. It's our last cup that we're in. We'd love to see a Manchester derby final. I think I'm going to go with the 3-1. I think we will concede. I think we'll have a little bit of fear. Whether that's in the first or second half, I don't know. But we'll, 3-1. It'll be a great result. With Rashford back, and we have got strength in. Even though Sancho's been slated, he's still getting a couple. Still got an assist in his second to last game. Still running over we get the ball forward. If we play with a different back line where we're not having to look over our shoulder all the time and see if we've actually managed to get it out of the back and we can run forward, we'll score.
This is going to pain me to say, but all day today I was sitting there thinking, right, when I go on the show, what is my score prediction? What do I honestly believe will happen in the game? And originally I said Man United 2-0. And the more I thought about Brighton and the level Brighton is playing at the moment, and I actually went for United to lose 2-1. I went for us to lose 2-1, and I'm going to stick with it.
Oh, wow.
I'm not confident. I'm not confident at all in this game.
You didn't invite me to the show for this, did you?
Pardon?
You didn't invite me to the show for this. You did not.
No.
I'll tell you what, Solo. Just reading Michael's last comment before this one, doesn't make me look forward to the final that much either. So out of the pit and into the fire type situation.
I'm being honest, because at the moment it's almost like there's two different Manchester United team you've got, and I always say you either get the first half of Man United or the second half of Manchester United. At the moment, we get in the first half of Solskjaer when Solskjaer was in decline, and then we got the second half of Ralph Rangnick, and that's how we're playing at the moment, the football. So I'm not confident. I trust the manager, and I believe if we get a win, then I'll be happy with it. But I've just got to be open and honest. I just think we're going to and I think Welbeck's going to be the guy who absolutely break our heart.
Sorry, Solo, but I'm disappointed in you. You usually say 3-1 United either way. Even if you don't mean it, you come on the show, and it's the first time ever in front of me ever gone against our team.
First time.
There will be consequences and repercussions for this day.
Of course, you know what, Amondi? Maybe he's just being realistic, because if people listen to just our predictions, we would win the lot. Because honestly, I don't think I ever go against us to not win.
Yeah,
UK Strange just saying here, you have to believe we're going to win.
I believe, but sort of my head's telling me one thing and my heart's telling me something else. My head's saying to me, my head's telling me 3-1 United, but my heart's actually sitting there telling me we're going to lose 2-1.
All right. You think it, but don't say it. That's the main thing. It feels flabbergasted.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
I'm glad I'm not going to be sat on the couch here watching the game with us all over. I'd just be like that all the way through. I wouldn't be able to watch the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Arsenal, I think, has beaten Southampton 1-0 already as well, apparently.
Oh my God.
But don't worry, let them twerk.
They're too good. They're too good, man.
No, Southampton will win in 1-0.
All right, well, let's
not get excited. Who scored?
It doesn't matter.
Don't worry. 90 minutes still to play, man. Weghorst better be watching.
Yeah, Alcaraz first minute.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. That's a wrap, guys. I need to get down to.
Yeah, we need a wrap. Me and Amanda Brush. If Arsenal lose today, we'll be tagging you on our comment. Yeah, you get involved. Yeah. we hunting someone down on Twitter.
Okay.
Guys, but listen. Yeah, we're hunting someone down on Twitter. They've been at us for the last 2 days now. So, yeah, it's time payback if they lose. But, guys, Brush, I know no one can see you, but, thank you so much for all the support all the time. And where can everyone find you, Brush?
No worries. It's a pleasure to be here, as always. The people can find me on Twitter at Brushy87. Aside from that, probably on here and just out and about in the community on the odd stream and in the comments.
I love it. Brush, love the community, man. You can find Brush anytime, any evening, find Brush there. We don't know where, but he's somewhere. No, but it's listen, Brush. You've been fantastic, absolutely amazing.
It's quite fitting as well, this stream, that no one can see me at all, because this is kind of how I am. I just sort of float about in the background.
Invisible. But thank you for your content, though. Brilliant content and sort of great balance as well tonight for us. Phil, where can the lovely people find it? I can put you actually on big screen because.
Okay. Yeah, my names are in there where you can find me. So
let's remove this.
Messages. Yeah, there you go. That's where you can find me. Or I'm obviously on the United Agenda shows, or I'm on the MEFC Realist TV show as well. Check it out. Great channel. Just like this, lots of chat about Man United. That's the best place to catch me. And I'll always love a little bit of banter. So yeah, bring it on.
Excellent. On Monday, we know where we're going to find you. You're going to be back here.
I'll be where I be. I'll be with my dogs watching Man United Agenda. If I'm not watching it, I'll be on the show. I'll be watching with my Fire Stick all the games of Man United and commenting on the games. I'll be watching Mr. B doing a watch along this Sunday as well, because he does a brilliant watch along with great graphics as well. And he got what do you call it? Snitch got the snitch. Really good reaction the other day, even though we lost. I think Mr. B shows so much passion for the game, and he loves the club so much, and it's just authentic reaction to what goes down. And these are the highs and lows of being a Man United Agenda out here. It's tough, guys. It's tough. Yeah. But when the highs are here, and hopefully we get more highs this weekend, we will be there to enjoy it.
Oh, and just quickly, Amondi, this football game that you're partaking in, is it going to be filmed? And if so, is it going to be uploaded to the channel?
Yes.
We hope, it's being filmed. Brush,
awesome.
Brush, you're a Man United fan. I don't know if you can make it over to West London, but you're more than welcome, bruv.
Yeah. Let me see the dates and that, and I'll keep that in mind. But yeah, in terms of the content, we would love it. We'd love it to watch.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. What I'm doing, my idea behind it is I'm going to actually stream live to the channel when we start playing.
Okay.
That's the idea behind it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the idea behind it. But also, guys, don't forget today we need to say it's all about Happy Eid as well. So everyone out there who's celebrating Happy Eid. Yep, Happy Eid, guys, and hope you had a blissful celebration as well. So, community, family, and everything.
3 days of celebration they got.
3 days. I'm going to join. I want to join it. Another couple of days off work. They don't even get time off work, and that's the hardest thing about it if you work in retail, unfortunately. But guys, listen, it's been absolutely wonderful having you guys on tonight. Mr. B will be back tonight at 10 o'clock as well with the Friday night takeaway. So anyone who wants to join Mr. B, I think Andy Herbert might be on it. A couple of Arsenal, Liverpool people are on it today. They'll be talking about the Premier League games that's coming up. So just fingers crossed, Arsenal don't slip tonight. Come on, slip, please slip. But from us on the Mania Agenda, we'd like to say thank you all and have a lovely evening and weekend.
Take